Hello, everyone. Hi, good evening. Hello, Jella. I see you in the chat. Hello. The first hello goes to you. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to Romance Class Live. You are currently watching the Romance Class YouTube channel, and we, Romance Class, are a community of Filipino authors of romance in English. We came up with Romance Class Live to try to solve two problems that we are still facing as romance authors and publishers in 2022. Problem number one, we need more audio editions of our stories and we need them to be easy to access. Problem number two, we miss live readings at events. Um, if you are not familiar with Romance Class, we used to hold live events in Manila, and the highlight every time was the live reading of scenes from our books by our favorite theater actors. So, Romance Class Live is a live stream where our invited performer reads an entire story from start to finish. The author has given us permission to do this reading, and we will keep the video up on YouTube so readers can have easy access to an audio version of the story if audio is how they prefer to read. We invite you to listen in, leave your comments and reactions in the chat, and subscribe to our channel so we can do more of this. In this episode of Romance Class Live, we are continuing the short story Choose Your Sweetness by Angeli E. Dumatol, which appeared in our NOMCOM anthology for charity in 2022. Jam Binay is reading chapters 3 and 4 tonight. To watch or listen to chapters 1 and 2, go to our previous episode, also here on our YouTube channel. Before we bring Jam into the stream, I'd like to remind everyone that you can support Romance Class Live by buying us a coffee, meaning donate a minimal or generous amount of your choice at coffee.com/Mina Villasguerra. Type Romance Class Live on the message field if you want your donation to go to the entire team, or type Jam if you want the donation to go directly to our narrator, Jam Binay. We also have a giveaway. Participate in the live chat for a chance to win a Romance Class ebook of your choice. Friends, let's welcome Jam Binay to the stream. Hi, Jam!
Hello, hello.
Hello, Jam. So I am so looking forward to this. I was listening and watching the stream we did last week a couple of times since we did it.
Ako din po,
Enjoying
I
myself,
also watched it.
enjoying myself in a long car ride and stuff like that. So I think we have something here. I think we people saying hi in the chat. Yon, please participate in the chat. So first of all, yon, just mentioning that I was able to re-listen and re-watch our stream from last week, and I really enjoyed it. We are doing chapters 3 and 4 this episode, which means
Yes.
it's actually the conclusion. So this is a 4 chapter story. This is the end of the short story, and in by the end of the stream, we'll have a complete short story on our YouTube channel. So a few things that will be different. Hi, Jella. A few things that will be different in this episode because we take feedback and suggestions, diba? So, um, a bunch of our friends were in the chat last week and they left some suggestions, whether they were serious or not. We actually took them into consideration because we take feedback and we want to make the stream better and more enjoyable for people who will watch today and also replay this. So just pay attention when when the stream starts and you'll start seeing those changes that we've put in. So, Jam, how about you start reading chapter 3?
Okay. Choose Your Sweetness by Angeli E. Dumatol. Chapter 3, Half Sweet, 50%. I can't get him out of my mind. I can't get it out of my mind. Signature Gray, the drink. Not Soren Gray, the boy. In a way, I guess my trip to NOMCOM did provide the distraction that I very much needed. The rest of the day turned out okay. Definitely not as bad as I thought it was all gonna be. I finally called Teacher Rose back that afternoon, and the scolding and disappointment that I'd been expecting didn't come. Instead, what I got from my mentor were affirmations on a job well done, and a promise that she'll help me achieve my best form next year. She told me to rest well and build up my energy so that we can come back better than ever before. Even my parents didn't react in the way that I thought they would. It hadn't been easy for them to get on board with my decision to pursue music. It was only after showing them just how serious I was about my craft that they eventually relented. They paid for my lessons and supported me through every recital I performed in and every competition I entered. And in return, I did my best to prove worthy of their trust. I dreaded telling them about how I didn't get past the NMCY elimination round, thinking that they'd admonish me for my failure. But instead, they told me that they saw how hard I worked and that they were proud of me for doing my best. That was what's important. Thinking about what's important brought Soren's words back to my mind, of course. Sharing my talent, enjoying every moment, marveling in the beauty I helped bring out into the world. These were things easily taken for granted, overshadowed by the glamour and prestige brought about by competition wins and the desire to make a name for oneself. I love the flute. I'd always have. I started down this road because I genuinely loved the instrument with its clear and bright sound. I loved creating melodies with every breath and every press of the keys. When did it become about the winds and not about the music? That'll be 300 pesos. Will that be all? The sound of Ate Gian's voice interrupts my thoughts and brings me back to reality, where I'm standing in the front of the cashier at Ajumart, the Korean convenience store found at the ground floor of our condo. Dad had asked me to restock on his favorite cheese sausages, so I'd gone down to buy some. I'm about to answer yes and prepare my payment when a display of trinkets right beside the cash register catches my eye. It's something I'd usually just ignore, but the sight of it now brings a smile to my face. I take one trinket off the display rack and place it on the counter right next to Dad's pack of cheese sausages. This too, please. Thank you. That night, I spent countless minutes just staring at the open mic night flyer Soren had given me, thinking about dreams and goals, the future, and the multitude of possibilities. I think about milk tea and a boy who had a smile as bright as the sun, and for once, I actually feel hopeful. Hopeful that things are going to be okay and that one moment doesn't have to define me. For the first time in what seems like a very long while, I set up my music stand and my music sheets. I open my flute case and assemble my instrument. After a quick but careful polish, I position my flute to the side and take a deep breath. And then I play. I let the music come, and I play. There's a line. I can't believe there's a freaking line. Actually, no, scratch that. After having discovered how the drinks at Earl and Gray's taste like, of course people are gonna line up for them. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Why didn't you tell me your milk tea shop had a guy who looked like that behind the counter? I have no idea. I come here for milk tea, not for eye candy. Psh, just because what's his name is back. Come on, Ira Marie. Look at that smile. It's downright infectious. Then again, maybe the drinks aren't what the people are lining up for. I'd arrived a little early for open mic night, so I'd spend a while exploring the rest of the food park, checking out the books available at the reading nook and admiring the pretty decorations in the second floor area. There was only so much walking around that I could do, and I eventually decided on getting a signature gray to refresh and also help pass the time. The line moves at a seemingly glacial pace, but at the very least, it's still moving. It takes a couple more minutes before I'm finally able to approach the shop front and see the familiar face waiting there to greet me. Cyril, you're here! Soren looks so happy to see me. I feel my cheeks grow warm at the way his face lights up as I walk up the counter. His eyes brighten up even more as he takes in the carrying case hanging from my shoulder. And I see that you didn't come empty-handed. Wow! It's my flute, I say, fiddling with the case's shoulder strap. I honestly still can't believe that I brought it with me. that I showed up with the intention to play after his invitation. But it feels like something I have to do. It feels right to be here. That's awesome! I can't wait to hear you play. He scribbles something on his notepad and calls out the order. One petite signature gray, no toppers, no sinkers, 0% sugar! Before turning back to me with a smile. We're a bit busy today, so I hope you don't mind waiting. Bold of you to assume what I was going to order, I teased, crossing my arms in front of my chest. What if I wanted to take Adeline's advice and try Signature Earl this time around? What if I was going to get pearls with my drink? But you said... He blinks at my words, surprised, as if he thought as if the thought never occurred to him. Were you going for something different? Would you like me to correct that order? I didn't, of course, I didn't. Just get me my signature gray, please. And yes, no add-ons and no sugar. I pay for my drink, and instead of handing me one of the buzzer collars they use to announce orders ready for claiming, Soren promises to deliver my drink personally. I try to insist that it was unnecessary, but the boy is adamant. He tells me to find a table and make myself comfortable. As soon as the rest of the line of customers clear up, he'll come find and join me. So that's what I do. I got myself a cheese muffin from Finding Bread, the nearby bakery, and waited. My seat affords me a very clear view of Earl and Grey shopfront, and I watch as Soren takes orders and hands over drinks, charming everyone effortlessly with his smile and upbeat personality. Every now and then he'd look my way and wave, asking in gestures if I was okay and apologizing for the wait, until finally the line dwindles down and Soren disappears to the back of the shop, probably to start helping prepare the many, many drink orders. Soon, a tiny living cotton ball of brown comes scampering towards me. It stops and sits by my feet, its round tail wiggling in excitement as it proudly presents me with the wrapped straw, bundled in tissues, it's carrying in its mouth. I don't know what they did, but it's clear that Soren and Adeline have done a fine job in training Max. What a clever but still terrifying dog. Despite being absolutely terrified of deliberately putting my hand anywhere near the poodle's mouth and teeth, I carefully reach out and accept the proffered straw. Thanks, Max, I say. The dog barks happily back at me. That's a good boy, Max. Here you go. Reaching into his mini bag, Soren tosses a treat to Max before settling into the seat across mine. He places my drink in front of me and offers it with a casual grin. And of course, one specially made signature gray for Miss Cyril. Enjoy! Thank you. I'm about to pop the paper straw into the lid when I notice something off with my drink. Wait, didn't I order a petite? This doesn't look petite to me. I gave you free upsize. But I didn't want a free upsize, Soren. Then just... Hey! What? Nothing. Soren's grin grows wider as he leans closer across the table. Just that I finally heard you say my name. I like hearing you say it. How am I supposed to react to that? How can he handle saying those kinds of things with a straight face? I'm still trying to process it when Soren brings out 2 folded pieces of paper from his pocket. He hands one to me and keeps the other for himself. It's a sign-up form for tonight's NOMCOM open mic night. Do a lot of people come watch these things? I ask, accepting the form as well as the pen Soren is holding out for me. The form is simple and straight to the point. It only asks for my name and what I'll be performing tonight. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. People come and go mostly, but don't worry, the NOMCOM crowd is nice. Soren replies as he starts filling up his own sign-up form. Everyone appreciates the effort and the bravery it takes to choose to come up on stage, just as much as the actual performance. Huh. I'm sure you always draw crowds when you perform. I'm willing to bet that Soren's very aura is enough to attract people. Like the line of customers from before, like moths to a flame, people probably can't help but want to be close to such radiance. I wouldn't know. His lips curl into a sheepish grin. This will be my first time performing too. He must see the bewilderment in my expression as he laughs and continues. I mean, I've participated in the event before. There was a time when the other merchant kids and I sang carols for Christmas sessions, and I even took a turn emceeing, but Soren rubs the back of his head, his voice trailing with hesitation. But this time's a bit different. I'm not so sure if it's just a trick of the light that comes with the setting sun and the dimming sky, but Soren's cheeks have turned pink. He's starting to he started toying with the pen in his hand as if he couldn't bear to be still. I'll be performing something of my own. Meaning, I'm part of a youth theater group called Dulaang Bughao. As much as I love performing with my castmates and our crew, I've always wanted a shot at showcasing something that's mine. Not just memorizing lines off a script someone else wrote, but giving life to my own words, expressing what's truly inside. Taking a sip of my signature gray, I lean back against my chair, trying to fight against the smirk that's persistently making its escape. And because I'm terrible at controlling my facial expressions, the smirk wins and breaks through, so I decide to just own up to it. You're an actor. Surprised? A bit? I shrug. I don't know. To be honest, I've been working about what kind of performance you'll be giving tonight, and among all the things that I've considered, acting is probably last to cross my mind. Well, I'm not exactly sure if what I'll be doing is still acting per se. Maybe a spoken word performance? I don't know. I might end up making a fool of myself, but hey, at least I did my best and tried, right? Soren laughs, the slight shaking of his voice betraying a hint of his nerves. I think you'll do great, Soren. I hope the words come out sincerely because I mean them. I really do. Soren smiles at me. We'll do great. End of chapter 3. Miss Angeli! Hello po.
Yes, hello. So this is our thank you, Jam, for reading chapter 3. So yes, what we have done in this episode is incorporate the feedback that maybe the author should be part of this. Maybe the author should be reacting. Of course, the author doesn't have to do anything while the reading's happening, just reacting. So we have Doc Angeli here with us. So thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. Thanks. So kamusta naman? Hello, Jasmine. But yun, kamusta naman?
Hi.
Kamusta naman yung chapter 3 for you, Doc Angeli?
Yes.
I'm very speechless. Once more.
Actually,
Bakit naman po?
may feedback ako, ay, may reaction ako ng konti nung si Jam, parang biglang naging theater boy.
Oo nga,
na-sense,
parang,
na-sense ko yung aura ng theater boy
oh
showing up
no.
in the, showing up in the reading. But that's really cute. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you noticed also the cute dog in our
Yes.
overlay.
Yes,
So
super cute.
so that's Doc Suzette's dog Mahu. And
Yeah.
if we could have Doc Suzette actually in the stream, it would have been live Mahu, but but we couldn't. So she sent pictures, and then we so photo Mahu is joining us at least for chapter 3. So that's
Super
super
cute.
cute.
Super
Yeah.
Super
cute.
cute. So we take feedback and suggestions. This stream is pretty much whatever we want to make it. So if you are in the chat, you get a chance to win a Romance Class ebook of your choice. And then I would just like to remind you that uh, 1 second, you can support Romance Class Live by buying us a coffee, meaning donate a minimal or generous amount of your choice to coffee.com/Mina Viasquera. Type Romance Class Live on the message field if you want your donation to go to the team. And type Jam if you want your donation to go directly and entirely to our narrator, Jam Binay. So keep participating in the chat. And if you have suggestions, we take suggestions. And
Very
later,
seriously.
so please, the upcoming chapter is actually the final chapter of the short story, but hang on even after the end of chapter 4 because we have a Q&A between author and narrator. So watch out for that. So how about let's start chapter 4, Jam?
Chapter 4, Sweet for You, 100%. NOMCOM soon transforms for open mic night, with the fairy lights overhead the park brightly lit, and the sound system set up in the side stages that'll be used for the performances. Additional chairs have been prepared around the area to accommodate the growing audience. People have started showing up and gathering, buying food and drinks before securing their seats for a prime view of the night's happenings. Soren and I watch as the first few performers are introduced by tonight's MC and take their turn on stage. A young man plays a tender piece on guitar. A cute kid sings along to a Disney song while dressed in full princess costume. One of the food park security guards deliver a stand-up comedy routine. Two grandmas duet a novelty song in both English and Korean. Everyone is a delight to watch. Sure, there are performances that are far from perfect with errors in pitch and timing, while others are simply strange and seemingly random, but still, they all shone atop the stage, enjoying the moment and simply giving it their all. Soon, my turn finally comes. And now, please give a warm welcome to flutist Cyril, who'll be gracing us with a performance of Bach's Partita in A minor, says the MC, clapping his hands. You got this, Soren whispers, amidst the polite cheering of the crowd. I nod at him as I rise from my seat and make my way towards the performance area. It's not the kind of stage I'm used to. There's no bright spotlight shining from above. There are no multi-tiered seats with guests peering down at me. There's no elegant outfit to wear, no piano and accompanist present. There's only me, my flute, and people gathered on a Friday night wanting to enjoy food and drink and simply have a good time. Even as I'm standing there, I can't help but think how incredibly out of place classical music is in a place like this. Maybe this is a mistake. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this. Taking a deep breath, I step into position in front of the mic stand. Is it too late to back out? My eyes instinctively dart towards where Soren is sitting. He flashes me another one of his frost-melting smiles and a thumbs up. At his feet, Max gives out a bark loud enough for me to hear. The sight of the two calms me and gives me strength to begin. I hold up my flute and I play. Johann Sebastian Bach's Partita in A minor had been a challenge to learn, but when I finally managed to nail the entire piece, the sense of accomplishment had been incomparable. The four-part piece possesses a strong sound, invoking the sharp and quick movements of a dance. For tonight, I chose to perform the Bourrée Angeul, the fourth and final movement in Bach's Partita for the flute. The notes flow continuously with my every breath and my every press of the flute keys, the rush of music reflecting my triumphs and my failures with its battling highs and low melodies. As the music unfolds, I forget ever thinking about not belonging here. Music belongs here. I belong here. I end with a decrescendo towards the last note. Catching my breath, I brace myself for the crowd's reaction, anticipating the worst, only to be rewarded with loud applause and even cheering. It may not be a competition, but it still feels like a triumph to me. We now come to the last of our sign-ups. The floor will be open for a few spontaneous performances soon, but before that, please give it up for the one and only Soren Gray! I later find out that Soren waited until the last possible second to submit his sign-up form. I can't believe he had the nerve to submit mine without including his. Before I can get the chance to express my anger at him, he rises and escapes to take his turn to perform. Soren looks like a different person on stage. Gone is his usual carefree smile. In its place is a wistful expression, a look of longing with a touch of sadness. Some people in the audience start whispering after recognizing him, including other food park tenants who all seem to be surprised at this unexpected, yet, I'm guessing, long overdue performance. I soon realized that Soren is internalizing, getting into character. It's not just that he looks like a different person, he essentially is becoming one. And then he finally speaks. We were there, weren't we? Those days replay endlessly in my head, like a playlist on repeat. But they are that. They are simply that. Trapped in my head. How can one tell what truly happened based on things so abstract, so subject to deceit and deception, even one's own imagination? But we were there, weren't we? I remember what happened at that place of fate, but it is a memory, it is simply a memory, engraved in my mind. How can one know what is truth and what is lie, with the past out of reach, the future a mystery, and the present? We are here, aren't we? So, what did you think? It was beautiful. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. Just beautiful. Thank you. You aren't just saying that to spare my feelings, are you? Of course not. Was it even just half as beautiful as your partita? It was a whole new level of beauty, okay? Just take the compliment, Soren. Open mic night is still underway, but the two of us have decided to call it a night. I think our performances have left us feeling a bit overwhelmed in the great rush of emotions. After leaving a tired Max in Adelin's capable hands, Soren insisted on walking me home, and I let him. To be honest, I didn't really want to part ways with him just yet. There's still something I had to do. Sooner than I'd like, we arrive at Saint-Tropez Court. With that ever-present smile on his face, Soren gestures for me to go on inside. I hesitate in front of the steps leading to the condo doors, wondering how best to approach. I can't decide, so I eventually decide to just go for it. Bahala na. Here. As quickly as I can, I grab Soren's hand and drop the present on his palm. That's for you. Easily the most nerve-wrenching thing I'd had to do all night. His hand feels so warm. He picks up the trinket and holds it up against the condo's front lights. As expected, he smiles when he sees and recognizes what it is. It's a bubble tea keychain. Yeah, it reminded me of you, I mumble, already feeling embarrassed. I just wanted to thank you. I'm sorry if it's a little silly. It's just kinda... No, it's cute. Really cute, Cyril. Thank you. I love it. Soren grins as he wastes no time in attaching the charm to his mini bag. And here I thought you weren't fond of anything sweet. I can't help the smile that escapes my lips. It seems to come naturally because he's near. I don't think I'll ever be okay with sweet things, but when it comes to moments like this, when it comes to this boy, maybe I don't mind after all. We are here, aren't we? And it's a sweet place to be. The end. Yay! Kamusta po, Miss Angeli?
Ang cute, Jam. So,
Thank you for sharing your story.
Cute. Thank you so
Ganda.
much. You did so well
Thank
in
you
performing.
po.
I almost didn't recognize my words, actually. Parang a whole new different experience as you were performing.
Thank you po. Ayan.
Kilig, but also bitten.
Bitin daw po. Nako. So, Miss Angeli, I have a few questions that maybe you could answer.
Okay.
So, this story had
Q&A
a
na pa.
trope assignment po, no? This story had a trope
Yes.
assignment and a deadline. So, does that make it easier or harder for you to write a story?
Napait. Like, so for this story, I was given the trope Grumpy Sunshine, and it's actually one of my favorite romance tropes. So in a way, it was kind of easy in a way na it's one of my favorites. So I like the topic, and I like to think about new ways to bring about my own creative twist to the trope. And I'm the kind of person you said who kind of works well, I work really well with deadlines. Parang I need that extra push to like
Yes.
force me to get the words out. So that
Mm.
in a way that kind of helped me write for this particular story.
So, it was medyo easy naman po for you to
Uh,
write.
in a way, parang nakatulong siya.
Inspired.
No? Nakatulong siya na parang may direction ka na because you're given a trope and then
Yeah.
there's a deadline. So parang may extra pressure to like, you need to get
Pressure.
words out.
Okay. How about if you were able to write a longer story for Cyril and Soren? Where would they go and what would they do?
Scandalous. Where would they go? What would they do?
Where would they
Oh
go?
no.
Kayo po sa tingin nyo?
Huh. I think ano ba, it will be good to kind of explore Soren and Cyril in their comfort zone. So we saw uh, in this story we kind of saw Cyril introduced as a flutist and also Soren
Yeah.
as a ayun nga,
Theater
theater boy.
actor.
So in future stories, maybe they can see each other, Soren performing in an actual play, and also Cyril performing in one of her recitals. And also, this was actually supposed to be part of the story, but I didn't get the time na to
Ay!
kind of expound on it. There was supposed to be a part when Max goes missing, and then they go
Oh
when they go to
no!
look for Max, di parang may bonding na mangyayari as they look
Yeah.
for Max. So it will be siguro it will be fun to kind of explore that idea again in the future.
Parang
More
very
Max.
integral naman po si Max to their story, no? They met
Yes.
because of Max, the the
Yes.
poodle.
He's the reason for the meet cute. So yun, baka.
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, part 2 daw po, part 2, part 2.
Part 2.
Okay, last question. What advice do you have for aspiring writers who find this live reading and get inspired to write their own romance short story?
Oh, okay. Whenever whenever I'm asked for advice regarding writing, I always want to say that remember that your words have power and all your stories are valid no matter what anybody else says. Don't be afraid to put your message out there. And then I also like to say that you should worry about editing later. It's way better to like put all your words down on paper, down on your screen, on your word processor, whatever it is you use for writing, and just turn off that internal editor inside your head. And just let the words flow. And also, lastly, it really helps to have a support group. It's something I found in romance class.
Oh.
Having the right people be there for you and to support you in getting your message out there, it makes a world of difference. So uh, you'll find your people. They're out there someday. So don't be afraid. You're not alone.
Oh, super sweet. I hope marinig po yan ng lahat ng nag-aspire to become writers then in the future. Romance writers, no?
Yes. Okay. Sige. I also have questions for you, Ja.
Ay, okay.
Okay. So for the first question, what did you do to prepare for these romance class live episodes? What was your process?
For me, before going into the reading, syempre it's very important to read the story to get to know the characters talaga. Um, and parang medyo may imagination work din na what kind of person is Cyril. Kasi it's not all in the story naman, right? So medyo meron din akong interpretation of who
Mm,
she is, what her family is like, ganon. Para mas malabas ko yung voice niya throughout the reading. Ayun.
yes. I think kitang-kita naman in your performance, and I like the new dimension you added to the character of Cyril, and also Soren and Max as you performed. That was really cool.
Thank you.
Okay, and next question. Oh, ang daming questions. Which part of the story was particularly memorable for you or challenging to perform? Wow.
Memorable. I think for me, the most memorable or challenging part was when she was describing Soren as like
Ah,
the boy who is like the sun, alam mo, who has a smile like the sun. Parang for me kasi as a person, I don't usually describe people like that. Parang I was trying to get into her headspace na parang bakit ganun niya i-describe si Soren. Tapos parang very cute naman how she warms up to him and then they form some kind of friendship or bond before any, romance happens. So super cute. I really enjoyed doing that. Ayun.
yeah, we really like enjoy watching you perform that part also. Oh my God. Buti na lang di ako nakita on screen during that time. Oh.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Okay, and uh, we have one last question. What advice do you have for people who want to narrate romance?
For people who want to narrate romance, I think um ilabas mo lahat ng preconceived notions mo about love. Alam mo yun? I mean, like, kasi sometimes people tend to be, cynical, ganyan. So, it's best to read a romance novel with an open mind, an open heart. Para mas maintindihan natin yung character, bakit sila in love, ganun. And I think I really enjoyed reading your story, Soren and Cyril's story, kasi makikita mo talaga how it doesn't just start with parang love at first sight. It was really it took some time for them to like each other, quote unquote, ganon. So I think if you want to narrate romance, just be open to the idea, the concept of love, and that it happens to everyday people. So parang it's like you're um given a glimpse of somebody else's story, love story. And then share mo siya sa ibang tao. So, ayun. Romance.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jam. Ang cute daw ng sweater mo.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I
It's
agree.
actually the folklore cardigan ni Taylor Swift. I'm a
Ah!
super, super big fan of Taylor Swift. So, I got yung cardigan niya. Super
Thank
Cute.
cute.
you. So, thank you, Jam and Angeli, for doing the
Thank you.
Q&A, for interviewing each
Yes.
other. So, I have milk
Yay.
tea pa. Bumili pala
Yay.
ako ng milk. I've been drinking it. So, I've been doing the least amount of work in this stream. You two have been doing the work. And Tara, who's directing. So, nagbi-milk tea lang ako in the background. So, zero sugar din ako mag-milk tea. So, thank you. Thank you to the two of you. I loved your answers. I love I wasn't in the screen, but I would like to thank Angeli, for mentioning that the community in your in your advice part. It I mean, we write this for people, so it does matter that you reach out to readers and reach out to fellow authors. And Jam, yung answer mo about, being open to
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 love.
experiencing feelings
Yes.
that and I actually find that particularly relevant in this story, because sometimes when you get nga cynical or older slash older, YA just seems so YA just seems so far away. So this is a young adult story, and young adult romance sometimes seems so far away as a concept. But
Yeah.
actually, when you're reading it or you're hearing somebody read it to you, para, "Ah, sige, bumenta na rin sa akin." Like, okay, I understand
Parang
again.
kinakwentuhan ka niya.
Oo, I understand again what that means.
Yeah.
And I which is exactly why we did this exercise, because I think a lot of us just experience stories differently. So this is an experiment in reaching out to people who prefer experiencing stories like this, and there is like a new way to experience a story. So a lot of us have read this already in book form or in ebook form, and suddenly it's all new for us. So yeah, thank you so much, Jam. Thank you, Doc Angeli, for
Thank
allowing us
you.
to perform this. So what has happened is now we have a full audio edition and video edition of the short story Choose Your Sweetness by Angeli E. Dumatol, narrated by Jam Binay. This is no replacement for a fully produced audiobook, but if you find YouTube accessible, if you want, if you have an account, a free account or premium or whatever, and you just want to listen to a full short story, it's now available in two videos on our channel, and we were able to do that uh, in the span of 2 episodes. So thank you to the both of you. And this concludes our first ever Romance Class Live, a complete live reading of a short story by a Romance Class author. We want to be more ambitious, but we're working up to that. Maybe eventually an entire novella or novel, but let's start with the short stories. I'd like to remind everyone that you can support Romance Class Live by buying us a coffee uh, at coffee.com/Nina type Romance Class Live if you want the team to get the donation, and then type Jam if you want Jam to receive the donation. And I think, yes, definitely send Jam a coffee, okay? We actually have a winner for the ebook already. So if Tara's ready to show the winner, Jella! Jella is the winner of the Romance Class ebook of your choice. Just let us know. We'll contact you. We know how to contact you. Just to pick a book, and we will send it. So we would like to continue this series with a new story and a new narrator. So subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified when that's happening. We actually have a few lined up na. So scheduling na lang, okay? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and before we go, please like this stream in particular, like this stream, and share it on your social media. And you know what? Replay it. It's replay the whole thing, and then give us suggestions also. You see that we are willing to take feedback and make this a great experience for all of us. So please do that and send us your suggestions here and on social media. Thank you so much for joining Romance Class Live. Good night, everybody.